If you're watching this video, you probably came from seeing the overview of the task tracker. So let me show you exactly how to set it up, and I'll also show you how to use it once again. All right, so this is the Excel version of the task tracker. If you're trying to find the Google Sheets version of the task tracker, I'll link that in my description below. But if you're looking for Excel, you're in the right place. All right, so when you open the spreadsheet, save it under something new. So let's go ahead and save this. All right, so something pivotal once you save the data is to make sure you have an Excel macro-enabled workbook. If you don't have the macros enabled, the automation is not going to work. So we'll go ahead and save that, and now we're good to start. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is adjust the task focus to meet whatever your position entails. So we're going to go over to recurring, and then updating the details are as simple as this. So let's say you want to put time tracking, for example. You can type that there. And now in the task list, the drop down automatically puts whatever you have there. And you can put as many as you need to all the way down through the end of the table right here. If you need more, you can extend the table. You'll just need to extend the range that it's applied to. Next thing you'll do is add your different recurring tasks. So we'll say recurring 1, recurring 2, recurring 3, and so forth. Under day, you'll select whatever threshold you want, and all the different thresholds are customizable as well. They're all right here. And some of these mean different things to different people. So instead of semi-monthly, you can say bi-weekly, for example. When you do that, it will automatically update inside of this. Now, all this day threshold is how many days it's going to be before this turns to yes. So for example, right here, we have 1 day. If I put this to 16, you'll see that now it says to add yes. Now this is important because on the task list, whenever we run our automation, it will only pull through different things that are marked as yes for that day. So this automatically calculates for you to make sure that it says yes, but all you need to do is add the different thresholds, how long you want it to be between each run. So for example, if I put bi-monthly, every 14 days, it will be marked as yes and will be added to our task tracker and so forth. So if you want to adjust these days, feel free. For example, quarterly, instead of every 92 days, you can put every 90 days, and it'll be based off of that day. So all you're gonna do is select the details. So we'll say weekly, for example, recurring, not started. And for recurring, make sure that the spaces are correct. All you have to do is just copy and paste it instead. If you want a deadline, you can. What I recommend doing is you can put a dynamic deadline. So if you want to have it on the same day that you add it, you can put equals today, open parentheses, close parentheses, and now it's going to automatically update to whatever today's date is. And then when it adds to the task list, the deadline will be the same day. If you want to have a future date, so let's say you want to allow yourself 3 days to do it, you can put today plus 3, and it's automatically going to put 3 days in the future. Under task focus, we're going to put those same amounts, and this is the same thing as right here. And if you notice, since it's all dynamic, it automatically updated as well when we updated this. So let's say this one has to do with enablement. So the first time you add it, you'll need to manually put the last added date. After you add it, it will automatically update based off the last time it's run. But for the to add to work, it needs to know something to calculate based off of. So for example, today is the 17th of May. If I wanted to run a week from today, I can simply put 5/17/2025, and then it says 0 days since then, and I can put that. Now, if I wanted to run today, I could put 5/10 instead. Then the days since the last are 7, and then it automatically is going to put yes because 7 is greater than or equal to 7. So you'll need to do a math. If you wanted to run tomorrow, for example, I could put 5/11. 6 days is less than 7. So once the day rolls over tomorrow, it will be eligible to be added back to your task tracker. Now, by default, I have it set where if today is weekday 1, which is Sunday, or weekday 7, it's not going to be added, even though technically it does qualify. Reason being is I work on Monday through Friday schedule, so I'll need to have it populated on the weekend. If you do work the weekends, you can adjust this. You can either have it on whatever days you have off, or you could simply just put 8 or 9, for example. There's not 8 and there's not 9 days in the week. So once you do that, it'll allow it to be added any day. You'll just need to make sure you drag this formula down to the entire table, so that way it applies to everything. All right, since I'm filming this on a Saturday, I'm going to go ahead and change this back to 8. And that's really all you need to do there. If you want to add a link, you can. So let's say google.com, for example. And then once you go back to this task list, you can click on recurring. And as you can see, it automatically added anything that was marked as yes to this list. You'll see a timestamp added right here for task added. If you go back to the recurring task, you'll see that now instead of 5/16, it says May 17th instead. 0 days since the last add, and it's back to no because it hasn't been 1 day since. So that's exactly how that works. All right, so now you can add whatever planned task or unplanned task you have. So we'll say task 1. I always start with not started. You can select the priority. So 1 is recurring, 2 is top, 3 is high, 4 is medium, 5 is low, 6 is follow-up, 7 is unable to start. Let's say high. If you want to have a deadline, you can. If you don't want to have a deadline, you don't have to. But let's go ahead and put a deadline of 5/20/2025. And then for the task focus for this one, we'll say enablement. All right, so when you start the task, you'll mark it as pending. A timestamp will appear right here. And when you mark a task as done, it will automatically clear from this list and go to the bottom of the Done tab. Now there is a placeholder right here. And the reason why there has to be a placeholder is because there is a met deadline formula that gets copied down to the next one. That way it allows you to have that formulation of if it was on time or if it was not based off of the deadline and the task completed date. So now that there is one right here, we don't need that top one. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. If you get a bug, just go ahead and save it, exit out, re-enable macros, and you'll be good to go. But hopefully you don't. All right, so now we have that. If you go back to your visualizations, you'll see 2 still listed. Reason being is that the pivot tables do not automatically update every single time. Instead, what happens is whenever you mark a task as done, I have a formulation that automatically updates them for you. So for example, you can see right here. But if you don't want to do that, you can simply click into one of the pivot tables, go to Pivot Table Analyze, click on the little caret and click Refresh All, and then it will refresh the page to whatever is actually shown in the Done tab. All right, so I went ahead and just added a couple of examples just to show how this works. One important thing to note when you're filling this out is select it one at a time. Because of the way the automation is set, it's set to run on change. So if you were to adjust multiple cells at one time that has to do with cells that are related to automation, then it's going to bug out and you'll have to exit the program, open it back up, and re-enable those macros. For example, if I mark this task as not started, this timestamp will appear right here. So if I were to try to have multiple all at once, it's going to give me this bug because it's trying to run too much at once. So just do one at a time. If you get this bug, no worries. All you have to do is just hit end. Go ahead and save it. That way, if you made any changes since the last time, you're good. And then you exit out of it, open it back up, enable the macros again. And now whenever you do the automation, for example, pending, it should work. If it doesn't work, save it again, quit the application entirely, open it back up, enable the macros, and now it should work. So you can see right here, the macros are re-enabled and we're good to go. Go ahead and put the priority. So I'm going to select everything from here. So let's say top, medium, high, whatever. All right, so everything's looking good here. I just added some tasks and we're all set there. If I go to my dashboard, I can see exactly how many tasks I have pending, and then it prioritizes it based off of the due date. So that way, even if you have something that is due more recently but a lower priority, you still complete it in time. Even though this has a lower priority, technically, it has a due date that's more recently in the future. So I know that I need to complete that. That way you don't have to worry about the priority messing up with deadline. Everything that has a due date is stacked up top. Anything that has an open due date is at the bottom. So you can still have visibility into it, but it's not as important. Anything that has a due date will automatically be reflected underneath the correlated due date on the calendar. And if you have a combination of things that are pending and completed already, anything that's pending will be stacked on top. Anything completed will be kind of grayed out like this. And that's really all you have to do for setup. So just to show the exact flow, if you're not ready to complete a task yet, you can mark it as parked, and that task will move from the task list to the bottom of the park tab. When you're ready to complete it, you can mark it as ready, and it will be moved back to the task list. And then from there, it follows the standard flow. So if you mark it as pending, a timestamp will appear under task started. And if you mark it as done, a timestamp will appear under task completed, and it will be moved from the task list to the bottom of the Done tab. From there, it will automatically calculate the deadline, whether you met it or not, and what the start week is. The start week is going to be based off of the date that is currently right here. So make sure that's accurate. Otherwise, it'll be tracked under a different week, whatever is listed there. Now, I'm actually filling this on the 17th. So if I were to have the 12th, which is the Monday of this week, you'll see that the completed counter automatically increases to count however many I completed this week, which is 3. So it goes based off of the completed date right there. Setting up for next week is super simple. All you have to do is change the weekly start date to the Monday of the next week and change any unplanned tasks to planned tasks. And don't forget, whenever you start the day, just click on that recurring task. If there's no recurring tasks, nothing will pop up. If there is any recurring tasks that need to be completed, it will automatically populate to the bottom of the list. So that's how to use the task tracker. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and like and comment for more.